is happy to be back here with you. I'm so excited to have our second block here together back on mainstream, and it's going to be a banger. I'm telling you, Ned versus Frostbyte, my hometown, well, I guess hometown, we'll call it. He's actually been North Carolina for so long, but he's honorary MDVA for me in my heart.
I've looked at his results. He has like a lot of MDVA results, so I kind of just assumed he was actually one of those people. Yeah.
Exactly.
But,
exactly. But he's a great guy, and I love to see him here representing our region as well as the Carolinas, and he's been a terror out there playing his very, very strong Roy. Against this Sephiroth, he's going to need everything he's got.
Yeah, for sure. Ned, obviously a player that needs no real introduction. Such an extremely talented Sephiroth. Probably the best Sephiroth in the business at this point, like at least speaking from results. And easily one of the highest seeds in this bracket. Yep. So yeah, of course, Frostbyte's got his work cut out for him, but he's got some really good results. We've seen some really great stuff from him all over not only North Carolina, but also MDVA. So this will not be free. This will not be easy for Ned. He's going to have to really, like, you know, make sure he's on top of his game, because Frostbyte is he looks like a very good player. He can easily upset him. And it looks like he's got some really unique combos, too. I love that, comboing into the side B right there. That was really smart.
Absolutely. I mean, his double-edged dance usage is very, very smart. I love to see it. And I think it's not just the player matchup. It's like the character as well that I think is going to be really good against the Sephiroth. You need something with, like, good airspeed to close the gap, get in past the Masamune, and then you can actually start cooking and do what you need to do, right? So this edge guard could be where Frostbyte needs to be here, but you can't edge guard Sephiroth. It's just not possible.
No, it's pretty tough. And here's the thing. This entire battle, obviously the double sortie battle, I don't want to be super reductive here, but it's literally going to come down to who is better at microspacing.
Yep.
If Sephiroth is playing at his optimal range, as long as he isn't getting whiff punish, it should be really hard for Frostbyte to get anything going. But speaking about whiff punishes, that wasn't even a whiff punish, that was a parry punish. Yep. But yeah, Frostbyte got in a little closer. If he closes that gap and gets a big read, especially with the power from the knockback of the sweet spot on that hill, you can take a stock so fast.
Exactly, right? Like, Sephiroth is one of those, like, unlikely featherweights in this game that just, I mean, maybe it's the wing itself. I don't know. You got feathers somewhere, but we are just going to die at super early percents against Roy, especially if you are able to get the nice spacing that Frostbyte has been looking for so far. And I like that he's just going to disengage, wait, but still getting poked out by some of these short hop fairs.
Yeah, this is a very even set so far. Ned just was able to kind of start bringing percents back, but he is at 90% and he's very light, and Roy has a lot of knockbacks, so he has to be extremely careful about not only where his spacing is, but like when he's making his shots too. Because getting a heart punish from like a well-spaced, you know, parried back air is one thing, but like if he just starts trying to be like, oh, maybe I'll just throw this out and see what happens. No. Roy is terrifyingly good on the ground. He's so good at closing the gap, and he's so good at punishing you really hard for like small stuff.
Very true, but the saving grace right now is the wing, right? Giving that movement speed buff is actually going to be really important to get around Roy. Still, you can't do it with your backs against the wall. You are going to get pinned there by Frostbyte. He's going to be able to take that second stock. This is so even right now, but the explosive potential of both of these characters could go either way at any point.
Yeah, it really could. And right now it looks like Frostbyte is really handling things down at the corner. Ned's been kind of trapped there for a little bit now, kind of fighting his way back, getting that neutral air. But yeah, this is actually still in Frostbyte's advantage currently.
Exactly, and I think now he's starting to look for some of his more reliable things. He's looking for any of these jabs to do it, but nope, Sour Spot City. We're not going to be able to get anything. Sour Spot on the down tilt as well. Looking for anything, but one edge guard could really make the difference here for Ned.
Yeah, this could go either way. I really like the way Frostbyte is playing. Like, he's dashing in and out. He's sneaking in down tilts even just to make sure that Ned is staying honest. Like, I like that he's pressuring him, but he's not throwing out anything, like, super duper committal, or, like, trying to force anything. But I don't know if he has a jump right there. Okay, he's able to recover. Ned's starting to wake up a little bit. He's starting to space really well with both those back airs and those F tilts, and that's the exact range he needs to be in to take this game.
Right, and being able to get around that scintilla usually is a trump card for Sephiroth, but finding that on a recovery that is rather linear like Roy's, it just wasn't going to work out, but no, just a grab out of shield.
I really like that patience from Ned too. Like, he recognized he's trapped in the corner, and if he throws on anything like that is not super on the ball, he would have died. So he just hung out and shield for a while. But the Jair, even from center stage, due to how light Seph is and with all that rage, is going to give him the game.
Might not have been able to get the confirms out of jabs prior to that, but it's the last one that matters, and in the key moment of the game, you're able to clutch it out. That's a big win there for Frostbyte starting off in game one. Let's see what Ned's cooking in the second.
Yeah, this could be a massive upset, too. We've already seen a lot of cool upsets, not even just from players in this region, but really all over. We've seen some really talented people kind of getting sent to lose a little early. I know Geist went down a little early. I know Tachyon went down a little early. We've seen some pretty wild stuff, but Frostbyte took that first game, and honestly, he took it pretty decently.
I know, and now this is kind of crunch time. Like, what is Ned's response? We're gonna go right to small battlefield, which I think is a great idea. Obviously, you're gonna be getting a lot of coverage on the platforms with the giant range that Sephiroth has. Like, I mean, can we talk about that? Like,
yeah, he has a ton of range. Honestly, if he's standing at center stage, like there's so much stage just cut out for you.
Fair covers horizontally. Up smash will cover everything entirely. Like, there is almost no escape for Frostbyte on the platforms. And off stage as well, he's going to be hard-pressed to get himself back, but he does indeed so far.
I like the pressure that Ned has put out trying to force these edge guards. Hasn't found them just yet. Oh, that was so smart. I love that kind of play. That is my favorite kind of decision. You're like, all right, you know what? I'm not winning this stock. I'm not winning neutral. You have momentum. Let's both just hard reset. And I love that play from Frostbyte being like, you know what? Forget it. Here's a back air.
It's so cool to see Frostbyte be able to do stuff like that because he just knows how to pick his shots so effectively and really is like working smarter, not harder. So yeah, you are going to be able to take that out. That means that it actually affects the wing usage later on in this set, so or on in this game rather. So Frostbyte still going to be pushed off stage. This is a tough one. Has to go horizontal on the up B.
Yeah, and honestly, Ned finally did get the offstage fair he was looking for, but Frostbyte was still able to recover back. Roy's horizontal recovery on his up B, it's not incredible, but it's definitely a little better than people expect. And that was one of those moments that really kind of like highlighted that, like, hey man, you might have to work a little harder than you think to get this character.
Exactly, right? Because I mean, Sephiroth has like amazing edge trapping, but I mean, we did see how he was still getting clipped by just the last little bit of that up special whenever we were going horizontal on the up for Frostbyte. So now they're just kind of resetting. You can see Ned's trying to do a little bit of the dash dancing, trying to play non-committally, and you got to be a menacing distance demon here as Sephiroth. Otherwise, Frostbyte's going to be able to close the gap. He's trying to do it with a roll.
Yeah, honestly, that play he had in the first talk was really smart, but since then, there hasn't been a lot working out for him well. I like that, using the throw, making sure there was no way Frostbyte was going to make it back to the stage without taking a little bit of damage, you know, nearly dying. But finally finds his way in, but Ned fighting back with that neutral air immediately, just not letting Frostbyte get any momentum going.
For sure. I mean, it's a little bit unconventional to have a sword character, especially like this, have an all-encompassing nair, but it works really well for Sephiroth, and I think it builds well into his kit, so he's going to be able to use that very effectively as a landing tool. Frostbyte, normally very good at juggling, getting the sharking on, but right now he's pushed the ledge, and Ned going to get that F-tilt. Now, a lead here for him. Frostbyte going to be having to figure out the answers here.
I like the attempt trying to sneak that side B in, especially in the corner. That would have been really disastrous on a character like Seph, but the spacing was just a little bit off, and now Ned is really, really running away with it. Honestly, if we want to talk about it, Frostbyte has done like maybe 110 damage his entire like second game.
That is true. That is true. It's a little bit more difficult. He's getting like some early stocks, but like at this point, he needs to do something else, and it's not just a one-for-one trade that he can rely on anymore. Like he had that in the first stock. Now he's got to work so much harder.
Yeah, and it looks like Ned is really starting to just really pull away with this as far as like how well he's spacing everything, and finally finding the first counter of potentially many in this set, forcing Frostbyte to the ledge, putting him in a really rough spot. He's at 122%, and he's got a whole nother stock to take after this. So this is looking like a really tall order.
Yeah, I think the Scintilla is going to be an ever-present factor throughout this set because, yes, Frostbyte, I mean, you can tell when he wants to approach. You can tell when he wants to get his hits, and Ned is really good at preemptively using that Scintilla. We are going to get that, so it's going to be a difficult situation here yet again off stage. He's just charging the flare, but it's the bait.
Yeah, and you saw, okay, this is what I was talking about earlier. Sometimes you really commit to a ledge trap. You're like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. And like you see the other person respect it. As soon as you like feint that you're backing off, being like, all right, maybe this ledge trap won't work, and then you turn it back on again, free damage every time. Free kill every time.
Exactly. You charge the flare, try to say, okay, well now I need to use the iframes on the get up option. That means I expedite my get up option, and then you're right there with a fair, an F tilt, a back air, whatever it is. I mean, Ned has the ability to just punish from below the platform, which no other character, maybe other save Min, right? Could do, right? Like not a lot of other characters really have that oppressive range. So okay, we're getting, okay, I don't know.
I don't know either. But
I don't know what that was about. All right.
I'm honestly not sure. Definitely looks like Frostbyte is just trying to take a moment and be like, all right, what can I do differently? Like, obviously he won the first game. He wants to know how he can keep that momentum going. And he started off really strong with that suicide bear to like take Ned's momentum back. But now we see Ned switching to the Pokemon trainer. One of the best Pokemon trainers in the business. I'm excited to see why. Oh, they went to Lilat.
Oh, Lilat, no wonder. So Frostbyte picks Lilat as a counter pick, and it ends up, I think now Ned is like, okay, BT City.
Oh, Ivysaur is terrifyingly good on the stage.
Yes.
I've experienced Doorstop's Pokemon Trainer on the stage, and honestly, if you're near any of these platforms, Ivysaur's up air is just such a massive problem.
Yeah,
so.
up air and down air both can really be extremely potent on the thin ledge, right? Like
Yeah,
from below or from above, like Ivysaur is a menace, and you're going to be hard pressed to find your way in against Squirtle too, because Squirtle is a light, mobile character on the ground at the very least, right? The airspeed is a little lackluster, but from a grounded standpoint, very strong here.
Yeah, and I'm sometimes in school about like, oh, you won that game, why are you switching characters, whatever. But I imagine fighting Roy on a stage this cramped and close together would have been really tough to Sephiroth.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it totally makes sense to switch to PT here.
Exactly, because it's a little bit more horizontal in terms of like the platform usage. So yeah, you're not going to be able to get that full coverage. Like you have multiple different platforms you could use as Frostbyte to use your evasion tactics and disengage. But right now, as a PT, I think it definitely is going to be a nice little choice. We are still getting caught by some of the stuff, and now the sweet spots are coming in. Nice call out on the Pokemon Twitch.
Oh, wow. Really, really smart recovery from Ned. Not finding that forward smash, but Frostbyte definitely on notice about it.
Okay, you can maybe make it sweat a little bit. Looking for something else is going to be tech. Very nice play there from Ned.
There it is. You see the Charizard for just a moment. He switches in and immediately gets that sweet spot back here. Gonna take the first stock, but he's still at pretty high percent. And as long as Frostbyte keeps his spacing clean, I don't think this Charizard would be like a huge problem. But wow, the damage. Jesus, just dash back to 16%.
That's true. I mean, the slants, I'm actually worried because the way that back air works is like the sweet spot is at like the top part of the tail. So it's like the slant here, if Ned is able to get his spacing right, that could actually be a really, really important factor here.
All right, looks like we got Squirtle coming in, getting a lot of damage. Now, this is a character that can kind of like outmaneuver Roy. Like, they both have good ground speed, but Squirtle is just so small and hard to hit. But as I say that, it looks like Frostbyte hit Squirtle a lot of times. So many times that he had to switch off an Ivysaur, and he almost found a way to find that side B and take that stop. But the back air, not enough just yet, but making it very, very close.
This is kind of where the interesting thing is because Frostbyte, although he doesn't play too often, he does play against Puppet, right? And so he has some PT experience. He does lose to Puppet, but I mean, I think here he's doing a great job against the Ned PT, and I think the Sephiroth honestly was doing better.
Yeah, Ned's gonna have to be careful because we are not too far away from yet another upset at this national.
Yep, exactly. And now we're going to be able to get a grab on ledge. That's going to be mashed out, but it doesn't matter. You're back off stage, and this is where Frostbyte wants you. A roll around? I'm not sure what that was about, but he loses stage control for it, so this might not be worth it.
Ooh, very crucial parry on that back air. That could have been devastating.
What's with the pummels? Is he really looking for like a high percent confirm?
I don't know. Oh, but the bear out of shield is going to give Frostbyte the second stock once again. Now, Ivysaur, as I was saying, incredibly dangerous character on the stage, and nearly taking that second stock with that dare, just a little off the mark. And look at how well Frostbyte is using these platforms to continue his combos.
Right, and still getting the trades, able to benefit, not really losing advantage at all. He is absolutely cooking right now. Looking for the down tilt. It is barely enough to get back the magnet hands, helping out Charizard just a little bit. That up throw, not on the platform, so it won't kill.
No, and only a couple inches away from landing on the platform. That really was a difference maker.
It really was. And now that up smash still going to be a nice out of shield option, but we're going right into Ivysaur. There's a plan here in place. Going to use some of that rage and needs to get Frostbyte off stage so we can see the potency of those up airs and downs that we were talking about.
Oh, this is a really rough spot. Ned with no mistakes left in the tank to make. Roy is so powerful. He can't make any other errors or it's going to be over.
The Nair out of shield, I expected something else.
No way.
No.
Okay,
Very nice. Still living. Has to be extremely careful. Going to Charizard just for a little bit of the heft. You got to do something here. Don't back air. Oh, he does back air, but he's not going to get hit by it.
Yeah, and that Puppet experience coming out right there. Because Charizard, he can kill you off a back throw really early if you don't know what's going on.
Yeah, just don't dump at a disadvantage. That's like the death sentence.
Oh, man. A lot of momentum coming from Ned. He's starting to rack these percents back up. Here we go.
Okay, you're going to have to do something. Can't find the range. Like, you don't have the range with the get-up attacks. You can't use anything there. Oh, he gets up into it. No, come on now. Okay, that's a tough one. That was it. That was a best of 3, and Ned ends up in a clutch, taking it with the PT. Frostbyte was so damn close.
Good Lord, such an incredible. And you see Ned popping off a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Ned is normally a pretty stoic player, but he's just like, no, I'm not about to be the next upset. It won't be me.
Very true. Not often do you ever see him sweat like that. I mean, but I was sweating, and there was a good reason for it. Frostbyte is just that scary of a player, and it got down to the wire. Frostbyte inches away. Like, if he had gotten he tried to nair out of that whip punish, but then he missed. And it was like, if he had gone for like maybe an up B, could have led to a stronger juggle opportunity or something else, something that was a little bit more reliable in that situation. But it is hindsight's 2020.
Yeah, hindsight's 2020 for sure. And I do think the character switch for that stage was the reason that he was able to pull that off, because that down smash, I'm sure it's strong, but that angle it's in at was definitely a little different than I expected. I think the slant of the stage may have added a little bit to it, but yeah.
And who expects that?
Yeah, no one's ready for that.
No one expects the Charizard down smash. That
I wasn't ready at all.
Up smash, totally. Maybe F smash. Down smash, the least likely.
Well, either way, great games for both players. I'm sure Frostbyte's going to really tear Losers up because he was still playing really hot.
Yes.
But coming in for the next match,